Welcome to the YouTube channel. It's just going to be a few episodes a week. One running down the NRL games, sometimes the AFL games, and then also when NFL starts in a few weeks, we're also going to be running that down weekly as well. Give you my thoughts on each of the big games, plays I like, and then just a few free plays here and there. And then if you want all of our plays, you can obviously head to the link in our Instagram bio at cash.out.kings and get all the VIP plays in there. So the first game of the week is the Panthers versus the Storm. If the Storm were a bit higher on the ladder, it'd be a great game, especially into the finals, but they're out of it now, so there's not that much meaning. It is a big game for Penrith though, and as you know, if you're watching this, I've got 80,000 riding on Penrith to win the grand final. I was a lot more confident a few weeks ago than I am now, but even with that, they're a different beast when it comes into finals. If they can get Isaiah Yeo back, if they can get Mitch Kenny back, I'll still be really confident. We need them to hold that second place on the ladder so that if they do play the Warriors, it's in Sydney. They don't have to go over to Auckland. If they go to Auckland, I'd probably have them as underdogs in Auckland, to be honest, in that round one. Let's get to this week's game. Storm, Panthers. Yeah, McLean returns for Penrith. That's about it. Penrith are $1.40 at the moment. I think that's fairly priced. They should win the game, to be honest. They're coming off 2 losses. The Storm are coming off a bye, I think it is. And they're just rattled up all over. No Hughes. The Storm really missed Elise Katoa this year and Pappenhausen. Last year, those two were their points, or a lot of their points came from them. And as I put out earlier before the season that the Storm, $3.75 to miss the 8 and $2 miss the top 4. I took them both actually, and they just really fell off in the middle there. They couldn't compete in games, and I think this one may be close. It'll probably be close, especially because it's in Melbourne, but Penrith should get the leg up on them. They should win. The line's 8.5. I don't know if they cover that because they just can't score points recently, but I just think Penrith, back-to-back losses, they'll come in here and they'll win this one. So if you're jumping on anything for that game, Penrith to win, that's all I got to say really. You could take just Penrith to win for that game. The next one is Raiders versus the Broncos. Once again, the game really doesn't mean anything for these two teams, which is unfortunate because if this was a game last year, how the ladder was, it'd be a massive one. Brisbane just look hopeless. They just look lost. In that second half last week, they had all the ball and they could not do anything. Ezra Mann looks like he doesn't even want to really be on the field, to be honest. Not creating much at all. Reece Walsh now out for the season after suffering that injury last week. I'm pretty sure this one's in Canberra as well. You don't know with the Broncos because they can shock you. They won a few weeks ago versus Penrith, but then proceeded to lose every game since then. If you're taking anything in this game, I would lean towards Canberra, especially at home. They are good at home, and they're also coming off a loss. No, they won last week versus Sharks. They looked really good actually. Sharks probably should have got up, but Braden Trindle out hurt them a lot. So yeah, this one, Raiders, Broncos, I'd probably lean towards an over, to be honest. For some reason, when these two teams play, there's a lot of points, even though they are two good defensive teams. Especially recently, the Broncos, they did lock up a bit there for a while, but last week they let in 40. Canberra plays good D, but I just think these two teams, they're both very fast as well. So I think there'll be some points in this one, especially on a Friday afternoon in Canberra. Yeah, and then the Friday night game. The Friday night game is the Dolphins versus the Eels. Dolphins at home. Dolphins need to win. The Dolphins want to keep this top 4 spot. The Sharks lost last week. The Dolphins need to win. Para is a tricky team, but Para are actually very good. Last week we took them as our best bet against the Cowboys. They were underdogs at home. Para just finds a way to score points, to be honest, and I think they're going to trouble the Dolphins a little bit here. The Dolphins, they're very good at attacking, they are, but when it comes down to that nitty gritty part of the game, they're not a team that's very good at that spot. I I think it's going to hurt them a bit come finals, to be honest. When finals starts, there's not as many 6 agains, there's not as many penalties. The referees really let the teams play, and I think this is actually going to hurt the Dolphins a little bit. They like to play fast, up tempo. They don't want to win a game 10-6. They want to win a game 34-20, 40-30. That's the games they want to win, and that suits their style. So it's going to be hard for them, in my opinion, come finals time. Although they do have the players, and getting that 4th spot would give them that second chance, which I think would be massive for them. And that second chance would also be at home for them. So that's massive. They really do need to win this game. Betting this game, I'd probably lean towards the over on Parramatta's total points, to be honest. I really like that Parramatta team, and especially on a flat track at Suncorp, or anywhere in Brisbane really. Even if they are playing in their normal home ground, the Dolphins, there's always points to be had. So Parramatta's over on the total. That's what I'll roll with for that game. Knights versus Manly. Now this is actually a great game, to be honest. I'm pretty sure Tom Trbojevic is back, which is a boost for Manly. We'll see how long he can stay back for, but it is a boost right now. Newcastle are on fire, to be honest. They lost Dylan Brown and Dylan Lucas, so you thought their season would roll off a bit, but Fletcher Sharp is an absolute baller. In all honesty, I think teams should be who are looking for a 6, should be looking at him. He's a $700,000, $800,000 player, in my opinion, at 6. So fast, creates something out of nothing. On the weekend, he just popped up for 2 tries out of absolutely nowhere as a 6. So that speed, it really hurts, and it really hurts defense, and it's really helping the Knights recently. If you see the way they play, Ponga and Sharp, they're both so fast, so elusive. It's really troubling the other teams. So once again, I think this one, I'd probably lean towards a Newcastle Knights over on their total. I probably wouldn't play the head-to-head because, yeah, Manly coming off a few bad losses, but Turbo back, they'll be pumped up. They're technically still alive to make the 8. A lot of things have to go their way, but they technically are still alive. So I think it'd be high scoring, this one. Yeah, I'll go Knights over on their team total. Whatever you can get it for $1.50. You can look at Bet365. They always offer alternative total points, and that'd be my play for that game. Now this right here is, in my opinion, the game of the round. You've got the Rabbitohs up against the Warriors in Sydney. This is going to be an absolute bloodbath. Latrell is supposed to be returning, which is huge for the Rabbits. He's a weapon you can just give the ball to, and it's just instant attack, instant points, especially near the goal line. It's going to be a good matchup, especially if Lekasima is guarding Latrell. They're both sort of the same body type. They're big builds. They probably shouldn't be playing centre, but saying that, Latrell is a world-class centre. In all honesty, I have to lean the Rabbitohs in this one, just because they're at home. I think the Warriors take a little bit of a dip playing when they're not in Auckland, and they have a brand new number 6 this week, which is going to hurt a bit. And the Rabbitohs will be up for this. They need to keep winning, stay in the finals, and I like them in this game, to be honest. Yeah, I'd call this one my underdog of the round. I like the Rabbitohs. I really think they can force an upset. I know a lot of people are looking forward to this game. It's not the greatest on paper, but the way these two teams have been playing, it is pretty good. They always fire up versus each other. The Dragons versus the Bulldogs. Yeah, I'd lean the Bulldogs here. The Dragons, they've been playing well. They did beat the Tigers, but the Tigers they're absolutely horrid at the moment. Yeah, honestly, I think you could pick people out of the crowd to go beat them. I'll take the Bulldogs in this one. I think that they're just going to be too good. They're going to smother the Dragons. The Dragons can't score many points. It's a big problem for them, and the Bulldogs are one of the best defensive teams in the comp. So for me, it's Bulldogs all the way in this one. If you want to take maybe them on a plus line or something, I know they are favourite, that'd still be good. Maybe if you want to do a multi, plus Bulldogs plus 6 and an alternate under, that'd be my go-to for this game. Sharks versus Titans. This is actually going to be a great game, to be honest. The Titans aren't the greatest, but they're getting there. They really do need to re-sign Zane Harrison. He's massive for them. And I think that if they can get him re-signed, a few other pieces, they're going to go well. I think this game's going to be high scoring, very high scoring in my opinion. I rate the Sharks, but without Trindle, they're not going to do anything. If Trindle's not back for the finals, they'll go out in straight sets. They're not going to beat any of those top 8 teams without him. So their biggest thing, to be honest, is getting him back, healthy, and ready for the finals. In this game, I'd lean towards the Sharks here. But also, I like an over in this game, especially in the Gold Coast. There are always great games in the Gold Coast, and they're always high scoring. The Titans alternative total over is a good play for this one, or even the full game alternative over. That'd be my play for this one. Last game of the round, Tigers versus Roosters. In my opinion, don't even turn this game on. Whatever the Roosters line is, just take it. You can honestly take Roosters minus 10, Roosters minus 15, Roosters minus 30, Roosters minus 35. In all honesty, the Tigers will probably get 10 points and the Roosters will get whatever they want. The Roosters could hit the over by themselves in this game, to be honest. The Tigers aren't up to NRL standard. So whatever the Roosters are laying on the line, give me that. Give me more of that. The Roosters total over, give me more of that. And Roosters back rowers to score a try. It's the value in this game. The Tigers, they don't really leak tries outside, but they're just not the greatest around the ruck. So the Roosters back rowers for a try, and then the Roosters buy whatever they want. That's going to be the way we end the round. Thanks for listening, if you did, to the first podcast. We're going to be doing a lot more of these. I'm going to try to anyway, especially for NFL season. So if you want to like, subscribe, drop a comment if you liked it. Drop a comment if you've got something that you want to say that we can improve on, and we'll go from there. Thank you all for listening.